Howdy, folks. Don't know if anybody is ready yet, but we're gonna wait to see if anybody else is gonna pop on. Just give them a few seconds here. Great, but cool. All right, I'm gonna get started here. Hey there, Kiran. My name is Darian. I am a solutions engineer here with DigitalOcean. I've been with DO for 4.5, almost coming on 5 years now. Hi there, Jacek, or Jacek. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That's an interesting name. And I wanted to talk to you today about scaling up your curriculum, your educational curriculum. Hey there, folks. Good to see everybody joining in here. Thanks for joining us live, everybody. I'm Darian. I'm happy to be here. I wanted to share tips for you today on scaling an educational curriculum, particularly one focused on data or coding to thousands of users. Yeah, thank you. This is my my Sammy hat here. It's my crown today. In the coming weeks, we're going to put together a more in-depth talk around this topic. We're going to discuss really in-depth with the data incubator exactly how they used Kubernetes and JupyterHub to scale up their curriculum, their data science curriculum, to tens of thousands of users really seamlessly and without much trouble. But today I wanted to talk to you about some basic tips around how to do things like that that don't involve you actually scaling up to 20,000 users quite yet. But we will discuss those all in depth at the talk. So I hope to see you guys there. Let's jump in. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the idea of considering scale early, right? A lot of people when they're starting their business, a lot of new entrepreneurs, they get their MVP done, and then they sort of it's now the engineer philosophy of if don't touch a working system, right? Don't touch anything that's already working. So they decide they're not gonna try and fiddle with it until they've got all their funding and they're scaling up and they're getting users. But that's exactly the wrong thing to do, because in that situation you're going to be stuck with a bunch of users who are using your platform actively, and then you have to go through downtime to scale yourself into an architect, or to build yourself into an architecture that can actually scale. Plus, the more users you have, the more data you have, and data takes time to migrate, and oftentimes you have to migrate that data in order to prep for a scaling architecture. So what I want to say is, if you are considering scaling, scale early. As soon as you're done with that MVP, as soon as it's working, you should be thinking, how are we going to scale to thousands of users, right? What's the best case scenario? If you're not planning for the best case scenario, then you're going to miss it if it happens. The second tip I want to give is that something we're going to talk about extensively with the data incubator is that containers are excellent for this type of thing, right? Especially when we talk about learning code, learning data science. Obviously, a lot of people like containers for the fact that they're portable and easy to use, things like that. But they're also great when you need a dedicated environment, right? And that's something that Data Incubator does really well. They spin up dedicated containers for these users who are trying out things on their platform. And the fact that they use containers for that gives them a lot of flexibility in the things that they teach and the way that they teach them. So also something to keep in mind when designing something like this. And then finally, the last tip I kind of want to talk about today is the idea of core competency, right? When you're starting your business because you're good at something, right? There's something that you are better at, and you have an idea, and you absolutely want to take that idea to the finish line. But you're not starting a business because you want to learn how to be a database administrator just to keep your application working, right? So my basic advice is learn how to do that stuff, learn the basics of it so you can understand when somebody's blowing smoke or when something it doesn't sound quite right. But once you've learned the basics of how to manage those non-core systems, you should let somebody else handle them for you. There are people who've dedicated their entire careers to learning how to do that stuff, and they've built managed services that can do that for you. And if you are focusing on all these tertiary services instead of focusing on your business, then you're going to miss stuff. You're not going to be able to do what you do well, which is what you've built your business around. So my recommendation is focus on your core competencies and let managed services take care of all the tertiary stuff on the boundaries. That will let you really drive your product forward without worrying about the nitty gritty on a day-to-day basis. Let's see who we got in the chat here. Hi, Oscar. You're a DigitalOcean user. That's cool. Do we have any other DigitalOcean users in the chat here today? And hi, Daoud Najam. That's I actually used to be an Arabic linguist, and I guess you're once an Arabic linguist, always an Arabic linguist. So my Arabic name was Daoud, which is David, kind of translates to David in English. Not quite my name, but it was the closest allegory I had in Arabic. So cool to see that, Daoud. Great. Anybody have any questions about anything I talked about here? Hi, Jacint from Budapest. Oh, cool. That's on my list. It's one of those places I want to visit before I kick the bucket, but I've heard it's beautiful there. I want to visit Budapest and Prague and a couple of other Eastern European cities around there. But it's cool to see such a global audience today. That's awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining today. It's been great talking with you. Make sure you guys register for that upcoming webinar or that upcoming tech talk I have with the data incubator. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to talk about all this stuff in detail. Also, there are tons of existing videos of industry experts that we've done tech talks with before on the DigitalOcean YouTube channel, which is linked in the description. So please don't hesitate to check those out. But I hope to see all of you there. Have a good one.